let's move over to let's go to Clemson, NC State. Just annihilation in the first half. Just utter. I mean, we're watching that game and literally as soon as like we're trying to watch, we got the multi view on. We're trying to go back and forth between games, and as soon as you just look back, they scored another touchdown. Like Phil
Uh,
Maffa had 100 yards in just like 10 carries. Cade Klubnik, looked good. I think this NC State team, like, I don't feel much different about Clemson, to be honest. Like, they're a pretty solid football team. But NC State, this team is terrible. It is horrible. Like, they are going to struggle to make a bowl game.
Listen, I would agree with you on that. However, you look at the rest of their schedule, and they have looked awful. Yes, even in their wins against bad football teams, and obviously in their blowout losses against Tennessee and Clemson. But to be honest, like Wake Forest, Duke, North Carolina, Stanford, even like, do these teams really scare
Duke's
you? And
undefeated, by the way.
I keep picking against them. That's
Stanford,
my problem
Stanford just got to win.
over Syracuse. But my point is, like, outside of Clemson and Miami, the ACC is a mess. It is a jumble. Every week, different teams are going to win. I mean, look at SMU. SMU just went on over the Big 12 and it's kind of handled TCU. Obviously, a lot of things happen in that football game to make it out of hand, but regardless, though, you got to be impressed there. But you were right about NC State. Something has to change dramatically. And I do trust that staff to get it done. However, I'm not going to be really super invested in them in many of their games remaining until I see some real things change because it it is bad. Defensively is my problem right now because obviously you're hurt at quarterback and you were bad offensively last year, but that's not what you expect from an NC State football team. Not what you expect. And it was bad. And I think Clemson, you've got to be a little bit impressed with them, right?
Yeah.
To take care of business, to bounce back like they did from that Georgia loss, which, by the way, most people lose to Georgia like that. Okay. And the way Clemson's playing right now and the way their schedule lays out, they got maybe one or two big games, and then they're probably on a date with Miami in the ACC title game.
Yeah. And we both picked Clemson in this game to win and cover. But I mean, looking at it, you're like, oh, time of position. How did NC State hold on the ball for 33 minutes? It's like because Clemson, it was explosive play. It wasn't even just like Clemson was dominating. It was like explosive play after explosive play after explosive play. It was a nonstop barrage. And now NC State and CJ Bailey were able to move the ball a little bit in the second half against Clemson's twos. Who cares, right? Who cares? Unless Clemson, starts dealing with injuries on that side of the football, I'm not going to be as concerned. I will recall to this game if Clemson starts getting a little bit banged up on that side of the ball, but for now, Clemson is a solid football team. NC State is pretty terrible.